In the past couple years, e-notes, or e-readers with note-taking capabilities, have gotten extremely popular. Previous videos featured top 5 lists, whereas now we are able to scrape together a list of 10. Today we are counting down the top 10 e-notes of 2020. Coming in at last place at number 10 is the iFlytek AI Note. It has a 9.7-inch screen, which is a very interesting screen size, and a SIM card slot. It comes with its own stylus, but it doesn't really inspire anything. It's really just that base model Wacom stylus we've been seeing for the past 6 years. This device has amazing AI recognition and transcribing. It has voice to text, it has handwriting recognition. It is actually quite nice. Now, it has a lot of downsides. It is Chinese only through and through, limited availability, and the warranty and repair is extremely difficult because the company has little to no international experience, therefore they have no communication when it comes to international inquiries. But to be fair, this device was never really meant to be sold outside of mainland China. Number 9, the Boyu Likebook Air. This device was priced really well, it was good form factor, it looked great, it came with a free case, it ran Open Android, and you could basically select any language. But the stylus was really plain, it was nothing really spectacular in terms of the overall UI, and the updates were extremely slow. People who have this device and other devices by Boyu Likebook have to wait upwards of 1 year to get Android updates, and even when that update finally comes, it's already too old and outdated by almost 2 Android versions. Number 8, the iReader Smart 2. Now this one is actually coming from a company that was the first one to make the modern color e-reader that we all know, the iReader C6. This device looks phenomenal, it feels great, it has the best stylus on the market currently, and it has onboard audio, but again, it's only in Chinese, there's no other language, not even an English toggle. The availability is next to nothing, they don't have international compliance stamps, and the warranty, the communication, the repair is virtually impossible because this device is not meant for the outside market. Although it is a good reader and it is a good note taker in and of itself, if you are able to get your hands on one of these, it's pretty much a one and done purchase unless you go through third-party companies to really help facilitate warranties and repair. You're pretty much on your own. Number 7, the Xiaomi W7. This thing was incredible and very well received on our YouTube channel. It has an amazingly beautiful pen, one of a kind. It's very sleek and very modern, and it looks like one of those signature pens you use to sign contracts. It has Open Android, it's well built, and it's made with good materials. But the downside again is that it's Chinese only, limited functionality. It felt a little dry, there wasn't a whole lot of personality around it, and even if you were to load in your own launcher and change it to English or any other language, only that initial launcher is English. Everything else is Chinese. So even if you do set it to your own language, only 20% of it is actually your own language. All the settings and drop downs and everything else is just going to be in Chinese. Number 6, the Boyu Likebook Alita. This was a fully loaded device and actually one of the best bang for your buck devices. It had good text conversion and it did it in multiple languages as well. You can write on the screen in any language and it just knows what you're doing when it comes to changing your handwriting. Again though, 2020 was not Boyu's year because not only did they release nothing this year, the updates were super slow. Just right now everything's getting 8.1, but other companies are on to 10. It wasn't built too well, it had that boring stylus, and again, the lack of communication and updates from Boyu just really couldn't set this any higher than number 6. We're into the back half here with number 5, the Onyx Books Max Lumi. This is basically the be-all end-all of devices. It does everything. It's second screen, split screen, X mode, videos, has an awesome ecosystem and perfect response. Now the downside is that even though you're spending $900, which makes this one of the most expensive e-readers ever, it has a very, very boring stylus. They actually got rid of this one, which is the white stylus with the Max 3 white of the previous generation, and they've moved back to yet again the old 4-year-old black plastic stylus. So it's not really congruent with how much you're spending with the stylus you're getting. And also because it's so big and it's so much demand on everything, the battery just didn't last as long as you think an e-reader or e-ink device would. But this is the first kind of time that Onyx has marketed their devices towards tablets with e-ink screens, not e-readers. Number 4, the Fujitsu Quaderno. Built beautifully. Beautiful device, looks great. It has the best writing feel on the market currently. It's safe, secure, has NFC unlock, a non-glass screen, which is very important because basically everything is just glass now, and it had an amazing stylus. In fact, one of the best styluses on the market. Now, the downside is that it was costly and it was extremely limited to the point where you can't even connect to Wi-Fi on this device without a computer involved. You can't even drag and drop files over to this device without proprietary software. But this was a breath of fresh air for the old Sony hardware, and Fujitsu really brought back to life what made Sony so popular in the first place. It would not be a list without the Supernote device on here. This is number 3, the Supernote A5. Probably one of the most amazing line of digital stationery currently available. The stylus that comes with it is all metal. They have the Heart of Metal series, which are beautiful pens that come in a variety of colors and styles. They even have a proprietary rubber screen protector they put over the entire surface of the device that gives you all of the writing feel and none of the wear and tear. And this generation actually comes with ceramic nibs, which means the nibs never have to be replaced and they never wear down like other graphite devices do. Now, this was, again, kind of limited. There are a lot of software bugs and it wasn't particularly cheap for what you're getting, and the device already is 1 year old. But from the amazing selection of pens to the sidebar touch and the proprietary back rail, this thing is definitely deserving of the top 3 note-taking devices in 2020. Number 2, the Remarkable 2. Remarkable has only been around for a couple years, and yet they've done what they're good at. They make a distraction-free note-taking device. It's built extremely well, has an alright pen, a good pen selection. It's completely distraction-free, meaning there's no applications, there's no dings and doodles, and there's nothing that comes out of this device except a true writing experience. The price is alright and had a good writing feel, but honestly, the first generation was a little better. Now, because this is so distraction free, it is one of the most limited devices on the market. You can't install any apps, there's no bookstore, you can't drag and drop files without the proprietary Remarkable software involved and a one-time passcode, and you can only have one device registered at a time. It's actually a pain to even transfer content to this device. One of the biggest cons actually comes from the source, and that is that the distribution and the availability is absolutely painful. Some people have been waiting upwards of 8 months and 10 batches and 8 weeks of delays, so it's really even difficult to get this item to begin with. Honorable mention before we get to our number 1 spot, and that is the father of all note-taking, the DPT CP1 RP1 generation. Sony basically started everything with the S1 way back in the day, and they've spawned everyone else to follow suit. If it wasn't for Sony, we wouldn't see the widespread popularity and availability of e-notes as big as we would now. Sony was the first to do it, they did it right, and no more evident with the Sony devices as the RP1. The RP1 was perfect, but it was just super limited. It came out in 2016, 2017, depending on if you're talking about the Japan market or the North American market. At this point, it's just a little old and tired and a little bit long in the tooth, but that isn't to say that the hardware is bad, because the hardware is actually so top-notch and so well built from the get-go that 2 companies in 2020 have actually followed suit and made their own devices based off of the Sony hardware, one of them being on this list, which is the Fujitsu Quaderno, and the other one being the QuirkLogic Paper out of Canada. The hardware was so good that Sony is still alive and well, not only selling the DPTs through their Japanese channel and iReader, but they're actually manufacturing for other companies. The DPT will go down in history as one of the best e-notes of all time. However, this is a 2020 list and this device was built almost half a decade ago. We can't exactly place it within this list. Number 1, the Onyx Books Air. It is objectively number 1 because on paper and in the real world uses, this is pretty much the perfect e-note. It's open Android, meaning that you can make your experience your own. You can even uninstall everything and make it as distraction-free as the Remarkable. It has onboard audio, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, text-to-speech, voice dictation. It has a great stylus. It's very accurate, a great writing feel. It's made out of an entire aluminum block with a glass screen. It's cheaper than its competitors. It's very premium feeling. It has X mode. You can watch videos, any language, and they've been in business for 12 years. This device literally has no cons that we could even pick out. If we're stretching, we can say, sure, it doesn't have an SD card slot or a SIM card slot, but both those two things aren't exactly industry standard. Almost nobody except a few Chinese companies even use a SIM card slot. The Onyx Books Air is the best bang for your buck. It's the best overall form factor. It's fast, it's responsive, it comes with a complete package, and it's just priced perfectly. The number 1 spot definitely goes to the Onyx Books Air. If you guys agree with our list, if you guys disagree with our list, you have to leave some comments down below. And for an overall top 10 list of the best e-notes or e-readers with note-taking capabilities of 2020, this is Peter.